A Red, Red Rose by Robert Burns, a lyric he assembled from pre-existing lyrical elements and images, and he directed it to be set to a tune from Niel Gow's first book of Strathspeys, Major Graham. So here is Gow's tune with Burns's A Red, Red Rose. Oh, my love's like a red, red rose that's newly sprung in June. Oh, my love's like the melodie that's sweetly played in tune. As fair art thou, my bonnie lass, so deep in love am I, and I will love thee still, my dear, till all the seas gang dry, till all the seas gang dry, my dear, and the rocks melt with the sun. I will love thee still, my dear, while the sands of life shall run, and fare thee weel, my only love, and fare thee weel a while, and I will come again, my love, though it were 10,000 miles. That was published in the Scots Musical Museum shortly after Burns's death, and it's followed by the same lyric, and it says Old Set Red, Red Rose. So Burns had told Pietro Urbani that he picked this up from a country girl singing in Galloway. So this would be the tune, the traditional tune of some lyric of A Red, Red Rose. I'll sing it for you now. Oh, my love's like a red, red rose that's newly sprung in June. Oh, my love's like the melodie that's sweetly played in tune. As fair art thou, my bonnie lass, so deep in love am I, and I will love thee still, my dear, till all the seas gang dry, till all the seas gang dry, my dear, and the rocks melt with the sun, and I will love thee still, my dear, while the sands of life shall run, and fare thee weel, my only love, and fare thee weel a while, and I will come again, my love, though it were 10,000 miles. Burns used that melody for the following song in the Scots Musical Museum, Lament of Queen Mary on the Return of Spring. Why didn't he just use it for A Red, Red Rose? Well, he saw a possibility in the Major Gordon tune. Burns loved to create, he has a signature technique. Excuse me. It's my A-frame pulling off the guitar. He liked to create effects on the subject, a musical melodic effect, a spark to the imagery. In Willie Brew to Peck-a-Maut, the cock may crow. You just heard the cock crow. They sound exactly like that. In Westland Winds, now waving grain wide o'er the plain. Now waving grain wide o'er the plain. There's a double grace note on which the grain itself waves, not the word waving. So he'd like to set up his lyric that way. And in the red, red rose, the rose springs before you even hear the word sprung. Oh, my love's like a red, red rose. Robert Burns. Some other lovely things he added to this. My love's like the melody. Mele. My love. Melody, mele. My love actually sounds like the word melody. And then he's got, as fair art thou, my bonnie lass, so deep in love am I, which I believe is a line Burns added of his own. As fair art thou my. That sound comes back in the last words. Thou, thousand mile. Now the opening drops a second, and the end of the melody drops a second to return to the root. And these both have the sound of mile. Oh, mile love's like 1,000 miles. Oh, mile and mile. It's a circle. The same way the rose is a circle. Beautiful, beautiful effects. Now, there are older sets of words printed and obviously sung in tradition. But there was a book called Centenary Burns by W.H. Henley and Thomas Henderson, T.F. Henderson. And this was published in the 100 years after Burns's death in 1796. So it was published in 1896. And it's they did a lot of research looking for preceding versions of lyrics. So, with gratitude to Thomas Henderson, from the wanton wife of Castlegate, circa 1689, her cheeks are like the roses that blossom fresh in June. Oh, she's like a new strung instrument that's newly put in tune. From the Unkind Parents, from the Samuel Pepys collection. Now fare thee well, my dearest dear, and fare thee well a while. Although I go, I'll come again, if I go 10,000 mile. And from the Passionate Squire's Position, from a New Academy of Compliments, 1772. The rocks shall melt in the sun. These lines, recast by Burns, were encountered in a high school textbook by a student in Minnesota named Robert Zimmerman, and they inspired him to write poetry. He's the only songwriter to win a Nobel Prize for Literature. Bob Dylan, when asked who was his greatest inspiration, named Robert Burns. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to talk more about what happened to this tune, why you've never heard it before, and be in one of my Bungling Burns episodes. I think it'll be number 3 coming up.